Hi everybody, it's Andy from Snow Camps Europe, and in this vlog I'm going to explain how this spring meant we could save our COVID summer. So as all of you will remember, those of you who follow the vlogs and follow Snow Camps Europe Facebook page, you will remember that on the 15th of March all of the ski resorts in Austria shut down. Nearly all of the ski teachers, all of the ski teachers lost their jobs. We were instantly put out of work, and we went straight into a pretty strict lockdown. Those people who weren't living in Austria had to leave within 2 days, and those of us who were staying then basically had to stay at home for 8 weeks, only allowed out for essential shopping, exercise and to walk your dog. So those of you who follow will have seen that I was out quite a bit. I was on my bike exercising and walking my dog twice a day. And as lockdown went on, it became more and more apparent that the summer was going to not be a normal summer. I'd already been informed that my summer job as a tour guide had been cancelled because TUI were not going to bring any people over to Austria this summer. And as the tour company that I work for supply all of the tours for TUI, this meant that we weren't needed. So I basically started to cancel every subscription and insurance policy, and I cancelled my TV package, I cancelled my gym membership because I had to rein in my spending. The incoming money was not as much as what was going out, and I was just about to take my car off the road and put it in the garage for the summer to save on the insurance, and I got a message from some friends. And this message basically was from the tourist office in Bruck and Fusch, and it said that they were looking for somebody to run a Jausen station in Bad Fusch. Now at the time I hadn't heard of Bad Fusch. I knew where Fusch was because I drive through it every week in the summer, but Bad Fusch I'd never heard of. So I came up, and this is what I found. I found a derelict hotel, and I found this spring. Now, this is the Augenquell. This is the eye spring. Now Bad Fusch, between the First and Second World War, was a spa resort like Bad Gastein or Bad Hofgastein. And there were 11 running springs, of which only 2 run today. One of them is behind me, and this is the Augenquell. And as you can see, there are people there filling up water bottles because they're going to take that water down with them, because it is said to have very good healing properties for the eyes. The other one, which I will show you in a second, is a little bit further up into the forest, and this also has many benefits for bathing and drinking. So once we'd seen this advert that said they needed somebody to run a Jausen station in Bad Fusch, and a Jausen station is basically a place where mountain bikers, hikers and visitors to the area can get a bite to eat. We came up, and as I say, we found that derelict hotel and we found the Augenquell. We then found the Kneipp. Now Kneipp is a hydrotherapy area. It's a sequence of pools, and it was originally thought up by Sebastian Kneipp many years ago. And we have a Kneipp facility here, which is next to the Jausen station. Basically, part of the deal for us taking the Jausen station was we would have to do the upkeep of the gardens for Kneipp. So if you don't know what a Kneipp is, as I say, it's hydrotherapy pools, and you do different things in them. You can walk through them. You do one where you stand with your legs, one leg in and one leg out. And then there's another one which is for your arms. And what you're doing is you're putting your arms into extremely cold water. It's about 6 degrees. And you hold them in there for about 30 seconds, then you bring them out. And the blood rushes back into your arms. And then you put them back in again for 30 seconds and you pull them out. And it's said to be very good for circulatory problems, for things like varicose veins, people who suffer from headaches. And this is a little part of the Kneipp. This is one of the structures around one of the pools. So you can see we're right in the middle of the forest where we are in Bad Fusch. Now Bad Fusch used to be a village. It was a spa resort, very popular between the First and Second World War, with rich Germans and Austrians. They would come here to bathe and to basically consume the water that came out of the mountain. And as they would do this, obviously the area developed. There used to be 7 hotels, of which there's just the one there that sat derelict. And there was also a couple of churches, of which are still standing. And then obviously the Kneipp was built 10 years ago, basically as a destination for tourists to get people up to Bad Fusch. This one of the pools is where you would stand with one leg in and one leg out. Once your leg is cold, you would lift it up and you would switch over. and then after about 3 or 4 minutes you'd come out and you'd let the blood rush back into your legs, and this would boost your circulation system. So as you can see behind me is the actual Jausen station itself. So this was the place that they wanted us to consider taking on for the summer. When we got up here, it was totally wrapped up in tarpaulin, as you'll see from these pictures. And I looked at it and I was like, well, to be fair, this doesn't look much more than a shack. And then I actually popped back up a few days later and took a much better look. And I went up into the forest and I went and had a look at the small lake that's up there and the church and one of the original Kneips and springs. And the more we looked at it, the more we pulled the tarpaulin back, we thought, possibly there is something to be had here. And we had no idea of the past trading figures. We had no idea of how many people came up here a day, if at all. But we basically, we rolled the dice and we went for it. Now, while I was considering this and I was thinking about it, we literally had 7 to 10 days from when I saw it. I had 3 days to say whether I wanted to take it on. And then we had about a week to get it done. So that meant we had to prepare menus, we had to find suppliers. We had to work out how we were going to cook some food. We had to get a license. There was 101 things to do. And one of the things I had to do is I had to find somebody to work with me. And as well as myself being out of work, Johnny Tash, who you will know from some of the snow camp's previous vlogs and videos over last winter, he's also a tour guide, and he was also looking at a summer of no work. So I gave him a call and I said, right then, Tash, let's have a look at this place. Let's see what we can do. And we opened on the 1st of July, and on the night of the 2nd of July we were forced to close for 5 days because the road that comes up here, which is literally just a mountain track, got washed away with a storm. So there was a landslide and the road was closed. So we ended up opening for 2 days. We closed for 5, which wasn't ideal, and then we reopened for 2 days and it rained for 3. So we lost a whole week in July of trading. But we managed to sell some food. We were serving some drink, and we were being checked out by the locals. After 1 or 2 weeks, all of the hotels had been to visit. They decided what we were doing was quite good, so they started to send people up. And yeah, we've had busy days and we've had some extremely quiet days. Today is one of them, albeit it is now the 2nd of September. It snowed the last 2 days. This is the first day it's not been raining, and therefore not a lot of people are venturing up the mountain because it's quite cold. And also the main tourist season and the kids' holidays is all over. But we do think we'll do a little bit of trade for the next 20 days, so we're going to stay open until the 20th of September. Now, some of the things we did, which we think are different to other places up in the mountains, is we changed the menu slightly. We started giving people dishes that you wouldn't typically find at a Jausen station. We introduced some new food to them, and we brought up some musicians. Now, when we advertised we were going to do music, people were saying, "Oh, is it traditional Austrian?" And the minute we said no, their faces would light up with kind of surprise, but also with pleasure, because frankly the locals are a little bit bored of their own traditional music. They would much rather listen to some modern music, to a band play, to some guys with guitars. So that's what we gave them, and we've had some very busy Tuesday nights up here in the middle of the forest with 3 English guys playing guitars, just playing a little bit of rock and roll. So what we did is we developed the menu, as I said. As you'll see, we've been serving ribs. The people have raved about our ribs. Again, our ribs are slightly different to the ribs you'll normally find in an Austrian Jausen station, in that they have a lot more meat content. We've got 91% meat on our ribs, and the way that we cook them, and our secret recipe marinade, which everybody is trying to get hold of. We are not telling them, but you can see from these pictures that they look pretty damn tasty. We also introduced a club sandwich, because everywhere in Austria you can get a cheese and ham toast, and we just thought, why give people a cheese and ham toast when you can give them a club sandwich? And this was basically us just utilising ingredients we had from other dishes that people would expect, because they all expect a cheese and ham or a turkey and ham toast on the mountain. It's like one of the biggest selling things. But we've introduced them to the club and they absolutely love it. It's a triple stack sandwich. It's got more flavour, it looks more eye appealing, and we just serve it with a pile of crisps, and yeah, they absolutely love it. Our coffees also, those of you who don't know, I spent a year in coffee, and our coffees are by far some of the best lattes and cappuccinos that you're going to find in the area. And this isn't me saying this is the feedback from the guests. Every single person who drinks a coffee raves about it. And what we also did, we were very passionate about making sure our products was local. We decided that we were going to go to a farm to buy our meats and our cheeses, so we pick them up every day or every other day so they're fresh. We also have coffee, which is roasted in South Felden. We use Pinzgau mountain milk, and Johnny actually makes our cakes fresh every other day or as needed. So he basically bakes every night at home and brings them up. And again, instead of serving a traditional cake, we do serve a traditional cake. We've also introduced them to chocolate brownies. And as you can see, the brownies come with either Smarties or Maltesers or jelly beans. And Johnny makes a different brownie every day. So this brings people back fantastic coffee and cake that they wouldn't normally eat. So we've given them something different. So this is how we've saved our summer. We've managed to pull off something quite unique in that two English guys have ran an Austrian Jausen station whilst maintaining a Kneipp facility, which we had no knowledge of before we started, although we've read some books and we now know all about it. And yeah, we've kept people happy, and they're all asking us to come back next year. So we will have to see whether we go back to tour guiding or whether we come back up to the Jausen station and we crack on. So there you go, folks. Andy from Snow Camps Europe, just with a little update of how that spring water has brought us up to Bad Fush and saved our COVID summer. Bye for now. Don't forget, like, share, comment, and if you have any questions, just place them below. See you on the next one.